Hi there chaps, and welcome back to the channel. So we're covering Battlefield 6 again, and I think there's a few things we need to touch on, and this article was particularly interesting, released in October. So EA CEO teases new machine learning and AI features for next-gen games. Now, if you come down to this part of the article, this is where it starts getting quite interesting. So I'll read it out for you. EA's new experimental tech should start showing up in next-gen games, especially in new titles like Battlefield 6, which will feature massive battlegrounds with dynamically destructive environments, all stuff we've heard before. EA's new seed and R&D has been, so that's basically their new kind of research next-gen tech kind of department at EA, have been experimenting with new advanced tech since 2017 and has made major headway with things like the game streaming service Project Atlas. So that's like Google Stadia. I mean, I'm not particularly interested with streaming services when it comes to gaming, but you know, if that's your thing, then fair enough. But now, in a recent interview with Protocol, EA CEO Andrew Wilson says other features like high-end AI and machine learning will make a big difference for next-gen consoles. We've seen historically it's the overall strength of the console generation, both in hardware and software, is really built in the first couple of years. Wilson says this tech will lead to levels of immersion, whether it be connectivity features like the ease of use and enhanced access of cloud streaming, or more powerful servers to power crossplay and bigger player pools, or machine learning and AI improved visuals and effects. We're only at the beginning of the groundbreaking experiences and immersive fun that we're going to be able to create for players on the new consoles, using more AI, machine learning, adding social layers to make connection and communication seamless and more. So what's interesting to me in this article is it begins to touch on EA's vision for cross-play and cross-generational play, and I think there's a lot of confusion in the community at the moment, especially around EA games. So I was talking to a friend last night, and he is a big FIFA fan, but for any of you FIFA fans out there, the next FIFA game, which again is an EA title, is not supporting cross-generational play. So you won't be able to play FIFA 2021 if you've got the PS5 version of it with your PS4 friends. So EA are kind of making a cut there from the next generation of consoles. They're not allowing people to play FIFA cross-generationally, and that did bring into question, well, is Battlefield 5 going to be the same, and is Battlefield 6 going to be the same? I mean, there's even questions about whether Battlefield 6 will be developed on the current generation of consoles. And now I'm going to break down kind of my thoughts and my reasoning behind those thoughts for these different matters. So let's start chronologically when it comes to Battlefield 5. So I think first off, you have to get an idea of what Sony wants for their players on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4, and Sony have confirmed as a company and their CEO that they're really looking to get this out of the way, that they are actually looking to really support backwards compatibility, not only playing, you know, old PS4 games on the PS5, but also once you're playing those games on the PS5, also be able to play with PS4 players. If you read this statement, whether it's backwards compatibility or the possibility of cross-generational play, we'll be able to transition that community to next gen, said Ryan, who's the CEO. It won't be a binary choice about whether you can play either on the PlayStation 4 or next gen to continue your friendship. So they're really trying to make sure, Sony as a company, that you can actually play, PS4 users and PS5 users can play on multiplayer online games together, as you can see just a little bit down in the article. So it's not like Sony as a company are inhibiting this. So it's really down to them, the game developers, whether they want to integrate that into their PS4 and current generation games. Now, when it comes to Battlefield 5, I would be absolutely shocked, and I'm actually positive. I'm going to get out of a limb. I'm going to say I'm 99% positive that they're going to be allowing you to play on PS5 with PS4 players when it comes to Battlefield 5. The reason I think this is, again, this statement that they've been spouting about cross-generational support, and Battlefield 5 is a little bit different to FIFA 2021 as in such that it's an older game, whereas FIFA 2021 is a new release title, and I can see why they might want to make the break with a new game. But for Battlefield 5, there's no reason why they shouldn't support cross-generational players, so PS5 players playing with PS4 players, and the fact that Jack Frags has been trialling the Xbox Series X, what, 2-3 weeks earlier than anybody else, and he was getting in servers. So I mean, these servers must be populated with some people, and I can't imagine there's that many people. I can't imagine there's 64 players alone that are getting early access to the Xbox Series X and all playing Battlefield at the same time. So I imagine, I'm 99% sure that Battlefield 5 is supporting cross-generational play. So if you're playing on the PS5, you'll be able to play on PS4 servers and vice versa. So getting back to Battlefield 6, there's this question about whether it will be cross-generational or whether there'll even be a version of Battlefield 6 developed on the PS4 on the Xbox One. Now, the reason I think there might be was back to this leak from Tom Henderson, who's a popular leak and has proven to be very credible, who stated that there is a small development team at DICE that are working on a downgraded version, a feature-limited version of Battlefield 6 for the PS4 and the Xbox One. Now, things could have changed in the last month or the last few months since that tweet was tweeted, but we'll have to wait and see. The thing that's changed my mind, I was pretty certain Battlefield 6 was going to be developed on PS4 and Xbox One, but the thing that's changed my mind, is this recent FIFA development with FIFA 2021 not actually supporting cross-generational play, which makes me think EA are kind of pushing quite quickly, if anything, to get away from the current generation of consoles and onto the next one. So, yeah, if Battlefield 6 is releasing in November of 2021 like we're expecting, so a whole year's time, if EA are moving this quickly with this game, then I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to do the same with Battlefield 6. Now, there's pros and cons to both. Like, obviously, for people that are still on the PS4 and the Xbox One, it's excluding them from getting the game, which is sad. But at the same time, it will allow them maybe to focus more so on the next generational features that come with these consoles and integrating that into Battlefield 6. So there's pros and cons of both, but I think it's too early to say. The jury's out on that one, what exactly EA are going to do. Another thing that interested me with this article was this idea of AI, next generation AI they keep spouting on about. And we've seen in EA games before AI integrated into the games, specifically Star Wars Battlefront 2 and 1. These games often had AI in the games to flush out the player base and make the battles feel larger in scale. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think this is a good idea for Battlefield 6 when it comes to the base game modes. I think you just need player v player. That's how Battlefield's always been, and that's what makes it great. But I wouldn't be opposed to an extra game mode where it's like you've got 64 v 64 players or something, but then they've added in like another 64. I mean, if it's possible, added in like a ton of AI that are fighting around as well as an extra game mode on top, not the base game mode, just giving people an option to go and play like a really large scale warfare where it's just like completely mental. People are just jam-packed into the map. Or even more exciting, and I would definitely play this, would be like a firefight system that they had. Think back to kind of Halo Reach or many of the current Halo games where they've got this firefight system where there's like a wave of enemies. Like, imagine like getting on a map and like holding down a position with your squad mates, like 4 of you, one's in the tank, a few holding out, or like as infantry players, and you've just got like a swarm of infantry moving towards you, AI infantry, and you've got to hold off in waves, maybe a little bit like Call of Duty survival mode or something along those lines, but on a lot larger scale, obviously, because it's Battlefield. I think that'd be quite a cool extra game mode and extra feature that would be interesting for the players to engage with. But we'll have to see whether they do that or whether they decide that's not the path they want to take. But let me know in the comments if you would be interested in seeing that in Battlefield 6. But I certainly would be. Anyway, I think that about wraps it up. I just wanted to cover some of the misconceptions around Battlefield 5's transition from PS4 to PS5, and I also wanted to cover this article regarding Battlefield 6 and what we might be seeing and what I'm excited for. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one, chat. If you did, please do subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out as a small content creator. Hope you enjoyed anyhow. Have a great day and peace out.